Welcome back to Inspire Youth with HRH, and we're having such an interesting discussion on emotional intelligence with Isaac Onoja. And just before the break, he explained to us the physiology. Is it the physiology or pathophysiology? The pathophysiology of the relationship between our emotions and our actions. Yeah. And right now, the question I would like to ask is, if you look back, you find people like Bill Gates, who took such an irrational decision to drop out of school to start Microsoft. You hear of the great Dangote, Alhaji Aliko Dangote of Nigeria, who took a huge loan to start a business. These men have taken decisions when, if you sit down to think afterwards, may have seemed to be irrational, may have seemed to be risky, may have seemed to be emotional.
Of course.
So where does the balance come? Because these men we're talking about have succeeded.
Yeah.
So where does the balance come? What is the emotional intelligence for an entrepreneur?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we say EQ beats IQ 54%.
Emotional quotient beats intelligence quotient by 54%. So in other words, to succeed, you need more of emotional EQ than IQ.
Now, those guys, like...
Wait, hold on. The young people need to catch that.
Yes.
So EQ beats IQ.
Yes.
By 54%.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not about being intelligent. It's not about being smart.
No.
But controlling your emotions is more important.
That is it. Because emotions drive you.
All right.
If you are driven by emotions, you must look at the emotions. Plato said, under all human activity is emotions. All human activity. Now, people, a man like Bill Gates dropped out of school. Irrational.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Irrational may seem.
Why? Because he saw that the school was not going to give him what he wanted.
Okay.
He could see farther than school. That you went to school does not guarantee your success.
All right.
No. Have you not seen? We say that managers are hired for high mental intelligence but fired for low emotional intelligence. Yes. Your ability to relate with people, your ability to understand, recognize your own emotions, it will help you to recognize the emotions of your people, then you can blend and work with them.
Okay.
But you can have high IQ, low EQ, you can't relate with people. You know why? You know, knowledge puffs up. Very knowledgeable man, intelligent. You look down on everybody.
That's right.
But EQ tells you, collaborate. He needs you. We need to work as a team. No team player will have a low EQ.
So are you trying to say that these businessmen, as much as they've taken such rational decisions, they had a high EQ?
That is it. We say your ability to delay gratification is equal to your level of emotional intelligence. Delayed gratification is the reason why many people cannot do and how many people cannot be entrepreneurs, because an entrepreneur will work on a project over and over and over and over again. In fact, if you can remember how many times you have worked on a project, you have not worked on that project.
Oh dear.
So your ability to say, I'm going to put in 10,000 naira into this business, but I will not get anything until 7 years. You are delaying gratification. But what do we find among young people? You get $1 million naira, what do? You could buy the shoe, 50,000,
get a car.
It tells you your emotions are driving. You can't control your emotion. You want to show somebody that you just got some money. So you cannot, since you can't delay that gratification, you cannot get to the level of these guys. Ask Bill Gates how many times he refused to wash shots, how many times he slept in the garage. He's delaying the gratification. Voila, today he's a richest man.
Wow. So how do we do this? How do we deal with this as young people? Because you just gave an instance of, if you get money, $1 million naira today, these are the first things you think about. Let me ask you.
Yes.
I know you're a business administrator. I know you have done business for about 15 years now. I remember you back in the days in school.
Of course.
You know, Isaac and I went to the same university, and so I've known him from then. So when you get an alert of $1 million naira, $1 million,
yes,
what comes to your mind?
Next investment.
So do you plan this before the alert comes? Or as you see the money, you switch to your intelligence or your thinking, logical thinking part of your brain and say, let's think of what this money can do?
Now, if you give me $1 billion naira today, I will not build one house of my own. I will not buy one shoe for myself. I will not buy a shirt for myself. I will invest that money first.
So you are delaying gratification if you get such a large amount of money?
Yes, because the business, after the investment, will produce an income that will buy the shoe, the house, and whatever. it will come second, not first. Now, that investment is a seed sown. What you need to, you don't eat your seed. You sow your seed eat the harvest.
That's what you
And
do.
you don't eat all of the harvest. In the harvest, you take the seed out of the harvest for the next season.
investment. Yes.
You get. Yeah. So you already have ideas waiting. Like many people, like today, you have so many young people saying, his money is, capital is never the problem. I give you ₦1 million and I'll tell you, I see you, I give you ₦1 million, I see you in 1 month. The guy will come with the same old story. You know why? The brain, the mind, the emotion has not been, trained to delay gratification. You're not here to show anybody anything. So you're here to deliver something you came with. So if you have that at the back of your mind, I've been told several times, some people say, why do you do all this? So go and build a house and live in the house. Many of you are living in houses. You are living in your capital. You are paying your capital inside your capital, and you are looking for capital outside.
Interesting.
You don't need it. When your house is your biggest investment, it's not an asset, it's a liability.
All right. Just before we take a quick break, how do we learn to delay gratification? I know a young man, a young girl watching this show right now is wondering, so Isaac, how do I do it?
Okay.
How do I learn to put the knife to my throat? How do I learn that when I get an alert, the first thing I'm thinking about is not a car to buy, that shirt, perfume, or a wristwatch? How do I learn that emotional intelligence? This part for business.
Now, to learn, number one is to recognize your patterns. What are your patterns? Do you, when you get money, do you see something to buy, a liability? Or you see an asset?
Okay.
Do you just get money and planless, you are an impulsive spender? Oh, ₦1 million. This shoe that this guy was wearing that day, let me buy it. This shirt, I heard this shirt is 250,000 now. If I buy it, I'll be the only one. Now you are just puffing up yourself. But you're not there. And ladies and gentlemen, you might wear a shoe of 250,000 and find that nobody actually knew the price but you. So, number one, you do what you call activate consequential thinking.
Okay.
The consequences of your purchases, consequences of your action must be, activated.
Okay.
If I buy this, what happens to me? If I buy this business from this man, this barber shop, every day I can earn 10,000 naira from there.
That's right.
And in 10 months, I'll have 100,000. Instead of buying this stuff now for 100,000, let me do this so that at the end of 10 months, I have 100,000 to still buy this stuff and own the barber shop. So you are getting 100,000 naira. You see, that is still going to be producing. So you are now a producer. A producer will always have what to eat. But a consumer is at the mercy of the producer. Consequential thinking.
Consequential thinking. Are we all born to be entrepreneurs? Do we all have this ability to delay gratification? These questions and much more Isaac will be answering right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Inspire Youth. My name is HRH. You may have heard Isaac call me Dr. Sambo, and that's because, yes, I'm also trained as a doctor. And he's been explaining to us the physiology, the anatomy, the architecture of emotional intelligence. And we've been looking at it from different perspectives: social media, business, money. And we've had such a wonderful time together. Isaac, I'd like to ask this question. Is there a difference between your temperament and emotional intelligence?
Yes.
What's the difference?
Now, your temperament comes from the fluid that flows within you. That fluid is stimulated by the emotion.
Are you talking about blood?
Not blood, phlegm and all that. Several kinds of...
Not physical fluid,
not physical fluid. Now, it's different, but it is responsible for your temperament.
Okay.
Do you understand? Okay. Now, you see, the human being is scientific. Now, we have 4 neurotransmitters called dopamine, acetylcholine, GABA, and serotonin.
Okay.
Those 4 neurotransmitters are responsible for the functionality of the human being.
All right.
And these are the things that stimulate this emotion, and let me define an emotion. An emotion is a neurohormone stimulated by the body in response to an action or to a stimulus.
Okay, so the emotions usually come after there's a stimulus.
There's
an
a
external
stimulus.
Yes. If I throw a punch at you, the emotion, that's when the emotion is stimulated.
Yes. Okay. For instance, now in this part of the world, we have what we call the short fuse. Between stimulus and response is a space.
That's right.
In that space is our freedom to choose, and in those choices lies our happiness. In this part of the world, because of colonialism and the military rule, it has narrowed or shortened our space. So many of us are very, very reactive.
Wow.
Because of our environmental conditioning.
Okay.
So instead of responding, we react. Response takes a longer time. For instance, if you are pulled over by the police officer and you ask him, why did you pull me over? He should answer the question innocently. But what do you get around here? You could get a slap.
Yes. Okay, I'm doing my job.
I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
You get why?
Okay.
It's coming from an environmental conditioning that if somebody asks you a question like that, it's trying to challenge your power. And what you should do is to hit, because that was what was done to him. We say all victims will victimize.
Okay.
Because he was victimized.
So he wants to make
you a victim.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So with that now, people have that problem of delaying or giving that time you give, that delay.
That response time.
Is very, very important.
All right. Is that what differentiates the different temperaments?
Yes.
Because we're looking at temperaments and emotional intelligence.
Yes.
So that response time, what you do in that time, is that what determines?
That's what determines it. And, emotions too are responsible for your thoughts.
Okay.
I can have a negative emotion of jealousy and say, is it because he's a doctor? He's speaking to me like this. Now, I'm not speaking from a clean slate right now.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from a negative part.
With a bias.
That's
right.
So that's why you see people react differently.
Yeah.
Differently.
Okay.
But the good thing is, you can grow your brain, you can train your brain even if you are 90 years old.
All right.
We have a new a principle from neuroscience called neuroplasticity, that the brain, the neurons, are plastic. You can stretch them, they can go back. That's why we say, whatever you don't use, you lose.
That's right.
So many brains, people don't have useless brains.
Okay.
People just have brains that are used less. Nobody has a useless brain,
but they just
they have brains that are useless. And once you use it less, you lose it. So Alzheimer's disease or memory loss is increasing all over the world because the brain cells are not being used.
Interesting.
So brain training tells you, for instance, if I do a small test now, Sambo, are you ready?
So you mean it's possible to test emotional intelligence?
Yes, let me do it now.
Hit me.
Are you ready?
Hit me.
Do you know ABCD to Z?
Yes, I do.
Let's go. Tell me
ABCD, EFG, HIJK, LMNOP, QRS, TUV, WXYZ.
Okay.
That's right.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sambo, can you go now Z to A?
Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, Q, O, N. I'm losing it.
Now, if I did the resonance imaging of your brain before you did this test, and I do it now, your brain has grown. When you did the first one, what happened?
It was easy.
Easy, why?
Memory, I just remembered.
You're on autopilot.
Exactly.
You're not learning anything. But now when I said Z to A,
okay,
that is where you train your brain.
Wow.
It becomes what? What happened the second time?
A little difficult.
Difficult.
You have to think it.
Anytime things are difficult, that's the only time you're learning.
Isaac, I would like to argue with that because in Nigeria we tend to believe anything that is difficult. Yeah, we tend to believe that that's the more important one. Does it always apply? If we go into the field of medicine, you find people who would always love medicines or drugs that are bitter or drugs that can cause a little pain, and they believe that is the drug that works. Does it apply? Is it the same principle?
No. The difficulty here is coming from the fact that you are using energy to put in this fresh information. The two neurons now that you form that activity, it's difficult now. They are far apart.
That's right.
You need to bring them together and you need energy to bring them. ATP. You need to push. Now let's try to engage this part, engage that part. Then you now feel tired. We call it hot cognition.
Hot cognition.
Yes. And that is good stress, not bad stress. You know, there are two kinds of stress.
Okay.
Bad stress and good stress. This is good stress because now you're growing your brain. It's difficult. You're trying to form something. But the moment it is formed, that's it.
It stays there.
It stays there.
All right. Let me throw this at you. We find that the common road offenders, we find they tend to belong to a given social class and social strata. You find that the road offenders, and this is just a general example, you might find a rickety cab, driving recklessly on the way.
Yeah.
And or you might find an Okada rider, as we call it here, a motorcyclist,
Yes.
riding really recklessly.
Yeah.
Is there a relationship between emotional intelligence and social class?
Of course.
What's that relationship?
Now, just like we talked about from the family, growing up, your environment influences you. Where the other guy who rides a motorbike, where did he grow up? Who were the people in his community? Who were their lives like?
Okay.
Monkey see, monkey hear, monkey do.
Oh dear.
Monkey see, monkey hear, monkey do. What you hear, what you see, you become.
Wow.
There's environmental conditioning. You cannot run away from it.
So, in other words, if we want to really be emotionally intelligent, we need to change what we choose to see,
Yes.
what we choose to hear,
Yes.
and what we choose to do.
Yeah.
All right. Right
a
now,
choice.
we're going to choose to go on a break.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a commercial, and we'll do this after the break. Stay with us.